So to find the partial of z with respect to s and the partial of z with respect to t, we could set up a tree diagram to help us through. And as we look at z, it's a function of x and y. So we can do the partial of z with respect to x and the partial of z with respect to y. Now looking at the x's, we see that x is a function of s and t. So we have two derivatives that we could do on the x. We could do the partial of x with respect to s, and we could do the partial of x with respect to t. Likewise, the y could be the partial with respect to s or the partial with respect to t. So that'll help us to navigate our formula so we can get to the partial of z with respect to s by doing the partial of z with respect to x, then the partial of x with respect to s. We can get the partial of z with respect to s this way by doing the partial of z with respect to y and the partial of y with respect to s. So there's our formula. Now, it's possible you could write that formula without a tree diagram. So we need the partial of z with respect to x, which when we look up here, we see is negative 6x. The partial of x with respect to s is 3. The partial of z with respect to y is 12y. And the partial of y with respect to s is 6. Now we need these in terms of s's and t's. So we're going to replace the x with what x is equal to. 3s minus 6t. And we're going to replace the y with what y is equal to. And then we're going to multiply all of that out and simplify, which I will make quick work of. Since we've already written our tree diagram, we can see from our tree diagram that we can get to t by doing zx and then xt and zy and then yt. So that would be our formula for the partial of z with respect to t. And so going back through our derivatives, we've got here the derivative of z with respect to x, which we've already done, is negative 6x. The partial of x with respect to t is negative 6. The partial of z with respect to y, we've already done. and the partial of y with respect to t. And again, we need to substitute in place of the x and the y what they are equal to. And so this would be a 3s minus 6t and this a 6s plus 2t. And again, this is just a matter of multiplying and simplifying.